are we just paying lip service to issues around diversity, or is there a real issue of changes that need to be made?
It is more comfortable, certainly, for foundations to be made up of people who come from the same background, same educational background, same ethnic background, etc. But that is not, that's not our reality anymore. It's not keeping up with the trends. It's not keeping up with the times. And we risk limiting our future as foundations if we continue to have, and with all respect, principally men, white men, and older men in the leadership of foundations. And I do really say that with respect to my colleagues here who fall into that category. And I think but that's why we're all here, hopefully, because now it's no longer a question of if we build diverse institutions as foundations, but it really needs to be how we go about doing that. And there are challenges. It's not easy to have diversity on our boards. It's not easy to have diversity in our staff. But we won't succeed, bottom line, without it.
You know, I have the very strong feeling that this question about diversity is one of the new mantras that we're going to have to deal with and deal very very politely. And I'm bothered by mantras. This being said, often mantras come from a real issue, and I think that the whole question around diversity stems from, it reflects the aspiration of foundations to deal with critical issues, and the fear or the belief that unless we are diverse, we are not going to be dealing with the critical issues of our times. There is a defining factor in all this, I feel very strongly, as in the discussion this morning, and that is size. Once again, size. Of course, for the Gulbenkians, for the big foundations who are in this table, and we have many, of course, they cannot be all blonde, male, etc., because they have the possibility to do so, okay? Now, but what is the reality? The reality, we heard again this morning, taking a Swiss example, is that 80% of foundations have assets less than 5 million. You make a 5% on this, that means that they have an average of expenditure of 250,000 euros a year. It means they can't even have one staff. It's a very grave mistake to think that if you're going to have, let's just suppose you have on your board, you have, of course, at least one female, at least one black African, at least, I don't know, whatever, and they are all from Harvard. Okay, okay. Now, are you having diversity? You are having cosmetic diversity, all right? And cosmetic diversity, I think, again, I mean, there is something about, you know, a quest for exotism. And it becomes a communication exercise. It does not become a real, you know, management, selecting good issues. It becomes a purely communication exercise. And I do not think that we're going to get very far with that. I will stop at this stage.
A diversity of opinions around the table with people coming from different perspectives, different backgrounds. Yeah, it can be challenging. But frankly, I think that will create a much brighter future for our foundations in the future. It will mean that we are more tied into the needs of the communities. It means that our decision making is likely, you know, and you said it's not absolutely this way, but is likely to be less insular, is likely to be more innovative, is likely to be more outward-looking, is likely to understand the broader needs in the communities, is likely to be able to be closer to the lived experience of people in communities who we are serving.
We still have a strong problem, and with that I would agree, of too great a homogeneity. okay? But it is not because we may have too much homogeneity that, sort of diversity as a mantra is going to be the right answer.
It is a very serious issue, and we need to understand it better. We have some examples of funds doing good things, but there are still big barriers, and let's not kid ourselves, they're really big barriers. We're not a very diverse network, and within our foundations, we could be doing much better.
Thank you, Nicolas.